Hello, and welcome back to Dark Cloud. In the last episode, everything was blown up, and apparently scattered. Well, kind of. All of the everything went in here, somehow. Not quite sure how this happened, but makes my life easier. Anyway, in this episode, we're heading inside. So, in order to open gates in this place, try to press X on it. It's like a big keyhole. Use item with square. So you have to use square to choose an item to use on the door. Use something that doesn't work, and... yeah. Funny little animation there of just like, this is not correct. Choose something else, dang it. Anyway, into the Divine Beast Cave. B1. So, those little spheres are the, how many Atla are on the floor, and the skull, cross, whatever the heck thing over the side shows you how many monsters you've killed on that floor. I don't know why that's important, but it is. It's for real this time, Triking. From here on, you will be put to the true test. First, conquer this wretched Divine Beast's Cave and find Dran's lair. That's your first goal. Since you're a beginner, I'll give you a lesson on how to fight in the dungeon. So, I will explain it better than he does, I hope, but if you want to read exactly what he says, I will leave each little text box on the screen for you to read yourself, if you want. So, pause and read it if you want. I'll explain it on my own in a moment. So, yep. So, actually, I'll just start explaining now. So, fighting enemies, one enemy in the dungeon has the key that you need to leave the dungeon. So, you need to kill them all until you find the one that has it, and then you can leave. Or just fight them all anyway for experience. So, Mind Connect, whatever. So, if there are no enemies left on a floor, you can Mind Connect with him to leave, or you can do it when you leave a floor, which makes much more sense to do it then. And then, if there's monsters left on the floor, you have to use escape powder to leave. Otherwise, you're just trapped there. Now, getting a game over, there's no such thing as a game over in this game. If you run out of health and don't have anything to save yourself, you will be returned outside the dungeon with half your money. That's all you lose. So, weapons, okay, as he's just said, weapons can break. However, weapons are also the things that gain experience, not the character. So, you level up the weapons, and you have to make sure the weapons don't break. So, Atla are these things, touch them, you get the thing inside, and then you'll be able to rebuild the village with the things you find inside. So, long thing, makes sense because it's the beginning of the game, it's a tutorial. Anyway, so, first thing we do is, he does a tutorial on this later, but one thing you can do, which is really hard to, it's hard to fight without it, press circle to lock on. I still hate bats! Okay. Okay then. That is not common. Alright, this guy, he will run at you, hit him when he does. And then this guy, he has a shield and never uses it. So just hit him. First few enemies are easy except the bat, because the bat swoops down at you really quickly and often hits you. If he does, he has a chance of poisoning you as well, and he's the only enemy that can do that. Good thing is, bats have very low health. So, the minimap. Yellow on the minimap is, well, a chest. A yellow dot that is not at the end of a passage is a chest. The large yellow dot that's at the end of the passage there is the exit of the dungeon. And this is the key that I need to leave. So I could leave the floor now, but you want to get all the Atla on a floor before you leave. Dasher, please, if I get you. Okay. Well, that worked pretty well. So, up in the top left corner, you can see your health, the weapon's experience bar, and your water meter, which is just another... You just have to have water. It's a thing you need. I'd assume it's kind of hot in here with the million torches that light up the rooms. So, makes sense why you need water. Keep hydrated, people. Alright, so enemies on the first few floors are easy. Enemies can sometimes drop items. He just dropped me a prickly, which is, again, just fishing bait. What I normally do with them is save them until the shop opens, and then sell them. Because fishing bait, for some reason, is extremely expensive, and also sells for a lot of money. That, ow. So what he just dropped there, that just turned into a number when I picked it up, is money. So, hey look, more money. This is the way to the back floor. We're gonna go into that later, but just know we can't do it yet. For, like, 5 different reasons. So, the blue bar on the weapon thing that's now flashing is the weapon's experience, while the currently pink one is the weapon's HP. And if we go down this way, so once we get the map, it just fills in the map. However, it keeps it dimmer if you haven't actually been there yet, which is nice too. Yep. So, Dagger's ABS is full. That's the weapon's experience. So if you go into weapon, Dagger, we can now upgrade it. I'm just going to do it now. For most weapons, you don't want to you might not want to upgrade it immediately. For the first Dagger, though, considering there's something we can't do with it, just upgrade it. It doesn't... Okay. The repair button. It just fully repairs the thing at the cost of 1 repair powder. You can also just go into the item screen and use the repair powder, and it'll do the same thing. So we got Macho's house. So yeah, what we're getting from these Alla are the bits of the village that got blasted out, that got blasted away. Get a lamp. So, apparently the people's houses themselves also lost a bunch of items that we need to get. So, like lamps, fences, and such. And the people, of course. Of course, that makes sense. The people were outside of their house when everything was blown up. So. And rivers, I'm not quite sure how the rivers got blown up because they're kind of just holes in the ground with water in them. That's the one bit that I'm just like, that doesn't make much sense, but okay. I'll allow it. Anyway, we are going to finish off and go into this last little area. There's one item that we haven't gotten yet. Okay, I'm getting thirsty. So let's go to items. And the way you use them is just drag them onto the player themselves, and it refills their water. You can also, firstly, let's open this. We got a lamp. This game loves lamp. Alright. Extremely old joke. Magical crystal. That fills in all the little dots on the map. Green dots are Atla, red dots are enemies, yellow dots are chests. So, I hear a lot of bats, and I don't like this. Come at me, and get wrecked. That went about as well as I could have hoped. That went perfectly. Alright, and we got a bread. Nice! So, bread is used for healing, while water is just used to refill your water meter there. Repair powder is used to repair weapons. Escape powder is used to escape floors while there are enemies around. And there's a couple other powders that we don't have yet and are also not of any use to us. So, press square on the door, you can use an item on it, which is the key, and we're able to move on to the next floor. Now, the way that I'm going to do this game is every episode is going to be 1 floor and then rebuilding the town with the items we found. As much as possible, or also, gosh dang it, tutorial time. This episode is probably going to be a little bit longer because of the tutorials. So, yeah, each episode is going to be 1 floor of the dungeon, sometimes 2. We're going to get into those later. But 1 floor of the dungeon and rebuilding the town with what we found on that floor. So, seems like you finally came back with some Atla. Very well then, I shall teach you as I promised. The pieces sealed inside Atla are released by touching the Atla with your left hand, where the power of Atlamia resides. Buildings and people that were sucked into the Atlamia will be restored to their original form. Once you bring them back to the ground level, you can arrange them as you wish. By going back and forth between the dungeon and ground level, you can restore the Earth to its original form. That's your mission as the one who is granted the power of Atlamia. Now, let us move on. This may get a bit technical. If you wanted to place buildings, etc., press the select button while walking to go into edit mode. I already did this, so this is again tutorial time. You can read it. I'll explain it when I actually do it myself. So, yeah, in edit mode you can drag, you have to build the house by putting the pieces you find back into the allocated slots. Seeing is believing. Try it yourself. Must be faster than listening to my lecture. Yes, it is. Oh yes, and if you ever forget the things I teach you, use this. Never going to use this. Kinda wish I could sell it, but I understand why you can't. It's a guide for using Atlamia and other things. I wrote it for beginners like you. So that you're saying there are multiple? What happened to the others? Come on, dude. Manual can be selected from the main menu, it also is an item that takes up a slot in your inventory, which is exceedingly annoying. So, your inventory is limited, by the way. Your inventory is currently limited to this much. But since items don't stack at all, yeah, I only have 50 item slots. There we go. I didn't notice that. But yeah, I only have 50 item slots, and each item takes up one slot, so nothing stacks. If you drag them over here, it looks like they stack, but they don't actually do that. I'm going to remove those. Because I don't like having bread there. I accidentally use it way too much. Anyway. So, let us place down this. So, characters also have likes and dislikes for where they want to be. These people like being next to the dungeon, so they can go in and fight things. Trees are just trees. You place them. Okay, so there. So I'm going to place the trees like this. Don't ask why. I have plans. So I'm just going to do this. And there. And then I'm going to arrange not there. Dang it. Get over here. And then place the road there again. Roads and rivers are just land features, same as trees, so you don't actually have to rebuild them or anything. So, you have to place people into their houses in order for them to actually appear. These things I will go over in just a second. As soon as I find out where Macho went. Macho, where'd you go? Okay, I guess I'm just gonna go and go in. He's probably in his house. He is in his house. Hi. Ah, Troy King, I missed you, man. Your smile really brightens my day. Alright. Tell me how to rebuild your house. You saw those question marks. You have to ask the people how to rebuild their house so that you know what to put there. Look, don't forget to expand my room and the barbell. Put that outside. Now when he says put it outside, you just put it into the slot and it fixes itself. But yeah, so now that we've talked to him, we can actually put items there. We don't have them yet, but we can when we get them. Alright? Now, these things. I call them red boxes. What they are items. You open them up, and they appear as you rebuild the town. Now, when you place down a building, not all of the red boxes appear at once. In fact, some can even appear in the mayor's house. There we go. So they just appear as you complete the dungeon, and then they appear on the items that you place down on the ground. One even appears like off screen here because it's kind of rude. Anyway, if you talk to the mayor, now our only hope is Dran. Dran has always watched over us. I'm sure Dran has watched us this time too and will help us. But really, this time even Dran's windmill, where Dran's magic power dwells, is destroyed. Yeah, I need to fix that. Anyway, if you talk to the mayor, he will restock any items that you used. So now, if I go into here, I got my repair powder back. One thing I like doing before I re-enter a dungeon again is to use my water and my repair powder immediately after getting them, and then get 2 more before we head back into the dungeon, just so that I'm at full power before we re-enter. Your health is automatically restored whenever you leave the dungeon. Your water meter is not. However, you don't lose any while you're not in the dungeon, so don't worry about that. Anyway, longer episode because tutorials. So, I will see you all next time when we re-enter the dungeon for the second time and go through floor 2. See you then.